Being too dumb or just not understanding what pressure is, that is surely the main quality of an athlete. That is roughly the kind of opinion circulating about Cole Palmer on the internet. The Russian-speaking community, of course, cannot understand this, but those who watch the Englishman's interviews in the original are at least sometimes perplexed, and at most are shocked by his indifference. Well, that's it. My door's even open, you know. He is quite directly the English version of that famous indifferent guy. Sometimes he is considered stupid, even though on the football pitch he appears to be almost the smartest player. I don't care what happens off the pitch, a quote attributed to Palmer. This guy has been putting up incredible numbers ever since his time in the Manchester City Academy. His dribbling, his finishing, his football IQ. All the scouts kept saying, this guy is a football genius. Let's go back to 2010 when this guy was in damn school. He used to skip lessons to watch his father play in the local league. And when he himself decided to try kicking a ball, his team's coach was shocked by his abilities. The academies of Liverpool, Manchester City, and United started stalking the young talent, hoping to recruit him into their youth setup. The kid eventually chose the Citizens. In 2018, Manchester City's academy held a meeting to determine which youth players should be kicked out, and Palmer's name was on that list. The kid was lagging behind in football development while all his peers kept progressing. He played worse and worse for 2 years. The academy was looking for fast guys who could dribble. Cole did not fit those parameters, and when the parties were close to parting ways, the academy director intervened and insisted on canceling the decision. When asked why, he simply replied, "Cole is extremely smart. You guys have no idea what he is capable of." Over the next 12 months, the guy improved a lot physically and led the U18 team to victory in the Premier League, scoring 20 goals in the season. In addition, he led the team to the Youth Cup final, where he equalized the score, then scored the winning goal, and afterwards dedicated the victory to his deceased friend. Maybe I'm not the most talkative guy, but as soon as I get on the pitch, everything becomes clear. The next 3 years in the academy were no different from the previous one. Wins in tournaments, good plays, but Cole received no rewards for all his efforts. Yes, he was given the opportunity to train with the first team, but the kid did not get any playing minutes, even though 19-year-old Palmer was tearing apart the U23 Premier League, an age group 4 years older than him. He dominated and scored 19 goals in just 1,200 minutes of play, which is roughly 13 to 14 matches. But all Pep allowed was an appearance in a League Cup match and some lousy 8 minutes in the Champions League against Red Star. In the following season, he scored for the senior team, but only returned to the pitch a month later in a match against Burnley. And when the final whistle blew, he simply ran to the dressing room, grabbed his coat, and slipped out the back door. Foden and Grealish looked at him like he was crazy. And why? So that he could play for the U23 team just an hour later. He was sent onto the pitch and scored a hat trick. Yes, 2 matches in 1 day. In a post-match interview, when asked by journalists, he simply replied, "If there's a game somewhere and I can take part in it, I'll be there." Of course, he received a few more call-ups to the first team, a goal in the Champions League, MVP in the Super Cup match. It was obvious that the guy needed more time in the Premier League, but Pep was waiting. After an injury that forced Cole to take a 3-month break from football, the Englishman completely dropped off Guardiola's radar. In the end, Palmer got tired of hearing the same thing from the Spaniard. "You'll definitely get more playing time this season." The kid decided it was time to move on. An ultimatum was put before him. Either you leave or you stay here and wait for your chance. The guy who not so long ago jumped at any opportunity to play, even if the next game was in an hour, was clearly not happy with crumbs like 8 minutes at the end of matches, so the decision was made to get the hell out. As the reigning European Under-21 champion, Palmer set off to write his own story at Chelsea. Manchester City's management asked him to reconsider his decision, but Cole was serious. After a failed transfer deal for Chelsea, when they tried to sign Michael Olise, Fabrizio Romano announced some mysterious transfer that Chelsea was preparing. That transfer turned out to be Cole Palmer. The Englishman moved to the London club for £40 million plus £5 million in potential add-ons. Chelsea fans were clearly not thrilled that such money was being paid for some inexperienced kid when they could have looked for someone more serious on the market. He has only 1,000 minutes at senior level. You must be joking. When Foden was 21, he had 7 times more playing time. And at that point, Chelsea already had Madueke, Mudryk, Sterling, and Nkunku, there was clearly someone to cover the right wing of the attack. In the end, after several hundred million spent by Chelsea on transfers, this turned out to be the best one. After 3 substitute appearances, sometimes even in midfield, Cole finally got his chance and started. The team needed goals, and straight away, the guy assisted Jackson. The result? Man of the match. Pochettino was impressed, so he started him in the match against Burnley. A goal and an assist, then a goal against Arsenal, and an assist against Blackburn, and another MVP for the match against Tottenham. Who would have thought he arrived at the end of the transfer window and he plays as if he's been here for 10 years, Pochettino said after another performance from the guy. The next match was very personal for Cole. The match against Manchester City. Chelsea were far from their best form, and the citizens were fighting for the title. But surprisingly, despite the difference in class, the game turned out to be extremely exciting. Goals of all kinds and in large numbers. It seemed City would take the win, but right at the end, Armando Broja won a penalty, which Cole was going to take. In the 95th minute of the match, Cole confidently converted the spot kick. And when journalists asked, "Were you nervous?" he replied, not really. In all the academies of top clubs, you can find plenty of players with speed and dribbling, but finding someone who is also so calm, tactically astute, and with high football IQ is not easy. Soon Cole received a call-up to the national team, and upon his return, he set about disproving the notion that he only scores penalties. A goal against United, a brace against Luton, and a new celebration that became his trademark. The celebration actually belongs to Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa, but it ended up sticking with Palmer and gave him a new nickname, Cold Palmer, a play on words that translates literally as Cold Palmer, referring to his indifference. He started the new year with 3 goals and an assist in the first 4 matches, but the team, nevertheless, experienced problems, winning only 8 of 21 matches, 11th place with a negative goal difference, more defeats than wins, and only one bright spot in the form of Cole allowed them to reach the Conference League places. It was his late-season surge that allowed the team to qualify for European competition. Important goals in the closing stages, such as against Newcastle, Burnley, and finally the match against Manchester United. It all started well. Chelsea took the lead, doubled it, but soon the Red Devils went ahead thanks to the efforts of Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes. And then the referee added 6 minutes of stoppage time to the second half. Madueke won a penalty, and Cole converted it. But that was not all. After a corner kick, Cole snatched victory for his team in the last minute. The goal was his 3rd of the match. Phew, that was something. But that was not the end. Later, Cole scored another hat-trick against Everton, what is called a perfect hat-trick, the first in Chelsea's history, with his left foot, right foot, and a header. And while everyone was arguing about who would take the penalty in the second half, Cole simply walked up, took the ball, and scored a poker. 4 goals. At the end of his first season, Cole was involved in 48% of his team's goals, 33 goal contributions in 30 league matches. Only Haaland and Ronaldo had achieved such a feat. Despite all the doubts regarding the transfer, this deal turned out to be one of the best in history. Of course, a call-up to the national team for the European Championship was only a matter of time. He even scored in the final of the tournament, but that was not enough for victory. In the current season, Cole continues to maintain his outstanding form and is cementing his status as one of the best players in the English Premier League.